Welcome to AGR Book Talk. I'm Dr. Felicia J. Lindsey, your host, fellow book lover and passionate advocate for storytelling in all its forms. Whether you're a reader, a writer, a book influencer, a podcaster, a bookstore owner, or someone who simply loves the magic of great stories, we're so glad you're here. Subscribe, follow, and join us on this journey. Engage with us on social media, share your favorite reads, and let's build a community that celebrates books in the most unique and exciting ways. New episodes drop regularly, so don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button, follow us on your favorite platform, and let's turn every page into an adventure together. Thanks for tuning in. Now, let's talk books. Today we have Tara Hayes. She is an author and she also publishes books. But guess what, everybody? She published books for professionals that are in a space of wellness. Now, I've been wanting to have somebody on to talk about wellness, so I know she knows a little bit about it by talking with her clients. But how did you get into this space, Tara?
Thank you, Dr. Felicia. Thank you so much for having me first. So how I got into the space, it's an interesting story. I was at a low point in my life where I was working full-time in accounting, and I was laid off from my second full-time accounting job. The first one was within a 10-month period. So both of these jobs, unassociated with each other, said the same thing. They said, we like you, but we don't think this is a good fit for you. So at that point, I had a bunch of anxiety, didn't know where to go, just didn't want to get another full-time accounting job, just be laid off or fired from. So I came across a self-publishing ad on YouTube, and at first I was like, that looks interesting. Maybe I can self-publish my book. Maybe this will get me out of my what I was experiencing. I could just start making money online. That was the thought. So, and when I got into the course, they suggested that you write fiction or fantasy, and none of those resonated with me. So I said, I'm going to write about something, but I'm going to write about my experience with anxiety. So that's what I did. I published my first book in December 2019. And after I published my book, I still had anxiety. I was like, well, I am an introvert, and all of a sudden I'm writing a book, so I have to tell people about this book. This is around COVID, so I had to do like a post on Facebook to make myself comfortable and tell people I was an author, and people were like, "Oh, congratulations that you're an author," So that's how that journey began. And then I did do a little bit of anxiety coaching, and once I did the anxiety coaching, I figured that I would serve best helping other people self-publish. And that's when I started Terrified Publishing in December 2021. And at first I was doing lead magnets for people, but then I said, I want to walk people through the full publishing process. And that's when I started helping people publish their books. And I decided on wellness because of my experience with anxiety. I have a deep connection with the wellness space. So that's how I got into helping professionals publish their books.
Now, you said you used to coach. With the coaching aspect, did that help you write your book? Did it give you more background in writing your book?
I would say it definitely did help, because in the coaching, I did journaling as well. And a lot of people don't see that journaling and writing a book is connected, because they're both documenting. So when I was documenting my journal entries, that gave me the insights on things that I can include in my book. So it did help me with my writing, definitely.
Now, tell everybody about Panic to Picnic, and how did you come up with that name?
Sure. So Panic to Picnic is a book about my experience with anxiety from adolescence to early adulthood, and how I had always experienced it as a child, and I did not know what it was. I remember certain experiences where it was situational anxiety, where I was in church or something and I was high up on a balcony and I would just feel anxious and didn't know why. And it was just for that period of time. But then as I got older, the anxieties it prolonged, and it just kept coming up. And then I had to see see a therapist and a psychiatrist. The first time I saw a psychiatrist was when I was about 15 years old. And my dad was a pharmacist, so they decided to take me there because they didn't know what else to do to help me. So I went to a psychiatrist, and they immediately put me on Zoloft. And I spent about 15 years of my life on medication and different medications. Sometimes I didn't know what they were for. And then my psychiatrist suggested that I never get off of the medication because I've tried before to wean off, and then I would always come back to it. So the book is about my experience with these different types of anxiety. I've had stage fright, I had social anxiety, I had agoraphobia, I thought I had OCD, I thought any type of anxiety.
Yeah.
I believe that I had it. So, but it got to a point where I was taking the medication and I had to get a procedure done. I had to get a colonoscopy done. And they said, you have microscopic colitis. I'm like, what the heck is that? And how the heck did I get it? And I researched, and it said long-term use of sertraline is what caused
Oh,
could be a possible cause. And I said, okay, I don't want to keep taking this for that reason. I know that I didn't know what it was doing for me, but I knew it was doing something that was causing an adverse effect in my body. So that's what the book is about. The book is about how I went through those anxieties and how I came to find my peace of mind, and begin managing my anxiety on my own with therapy, with meditation, I've just give 15 natural strategies. And how I came up with the book title is I had a Facebook group, and someone it was had anxiety. It was about anxiety and helping people through their anxiety. So someone in the group said that anxiety is definitely no picnic. So I said, oh, no, it's not a picnic. So how about panic to picnic? And that's basically how the book title came to be. So
I like it. Now, when you had the disruption and you're having, I can't remember what you said for your stomach,
oh,
and
microscopic colitis, yeah.
is that how you started? Is that some of the foundation, say it that way, where you started working with holistic providers to be able to find different ways and different herbs, different things to help calm, take care of the person, physically and mentally? Is that how you brought that aspect in? And
Yes,
being,
that was definitely the foundation, because at one point I didn't know much about holistic. I honestly didn't believe it in holistic because my dad was a pharmacist and I was on medication for years, so holistic just seemed foreign to me. But also, I didn't want to keep taking that if it was causing an adverse effect. So that's when I started looking more into holistic and healing as a whole. And going to therapy. I used to go to therapy. I'm not in therapy anymore. And I think that what really helped me too was developing this business. I used to use the tagline, helping others heal while I heal myself.
Mhm.
So I believe that taking the focus off myself and then making it bigger than me, extending it outside of myself, and knowing that the book was helping other people with anxiety. It's like, oh, well, this is a movement now. So it's not all about me. I have other people reading and other people following me. So that's what helped me heal too, not just focusing on myself, but that's definitely the starting point of my holistic journey.
Now, how was your publishing journey when you were going through? You had already taken the course. You was going through all the stages. What happened with your publishing journey?
So that's an interesting story. Early on in my publishing journey, someone asked me, they said, hey, I want to publish a book, can you help me? And originally I was like, no, you have to take the same course I took, because I didn't think I was qualified to do it. So, and then I had a business partner. He said, well, you know that you can start your own publishing company. I said I can. Like, I didn't know I could do it. And then just from other people asking me for help, that's how the publishing journey just began. And I just kind of figured it out, and I developed it because there was some things in the course that I took that I didn't get. Like, there's a lot of things that I didn't know. You make mistakes as a first time author. Like, I didn't know about the ISBN number. Like, I used the free ISBN on Amazon thinking that I was saving money. But when you do that, you're limited to that platform. You'll have to republish your book on another platform because that ISBN is specifically for Amazon. And
Mhm.
I've learned so many other things too on a publishing journey as I became a publisher. Like, I learned about formatting. That's one thing that I didn't know how to do. So I hired someone in Fiverr to format. And also, I didn't have my book professionally edited. I was like, oh, I'll edit it myself. And then, I'm going to save money. But, you just learn all these things on the journey. Um, as a publisher, you learn. And then that's how it came about, people asking me, and then just me making the mistakes, so I know I can shorten the learning curve for other people who want to publish and don't know where to start. And that's another thing, it becomes overwhelming when you don't know what you're doing. So I had that self-publishing course, and that helped me, and I got what I needed, the foundation from that. But then it's the development, the learning and sharing, and just being in the space among other publishers, and you learn as you go.
I can honestly say in my journey, I have had a lots of ups and downs, and there's been a lot of things I had to get through. And to me, I think that is a part of the learning. And like you were saying, I think it just makes you better. It makes you better because you have more to pull back on as far
Mhm.
as experience. Now, tell me, if you were to sit down in a room with
Mhm.
a bunch of novice authors,
Mhm.
you what would you want to tell them? What is the main thing that you wish someone would have sat down and told you that could have helped you along your journey?
So, if I was in a room with a bunch of novice authors, I would tell them first to build your audience, because when I took my self publishing course, I believe they mentioned about building the audience, but I didn't realize how important it was. I was like, oh, I'm publishing a book, I'm going to be on Amazon. And so I thought that, oh, Amazon is a huge platform, and then I would just be found. But if you don't have an audience, nobody's going to find you. It's just sitting there on Amazon with, it's great, but if you don't have a marketing strategy, or if you're not telling people about your book, then it's not going to go anywhere. And that's a mistake I made too. When I published my books, I was told about it a few times on social media and thought that was enough. But you have to talk about it every day. So you have to keep talking about it, because people are going to not remember. There's so much on our feeds that nobody's going to remember about your book or my book or anyone else's. And then another mistake that I made. Oh, I lost my train of. So it was something around posting on social media. Oh, I thought people were going to get sick of me. Like they're like,
Mm-hmm.
I keep talking about the same book. Like, when's she going to talk about something else? Nobody ever said that to me. That was just in my own head. So I would say, keep talking about your book. Never stop, because people need to see your book. And then, even if you are talking about it all the time, not everybody's going to see it at the same time. So just keep talking about it. Keep promoting your book. And also, I would encourage authors to do speaking. Speaking is another thing that I was afraid to do. I started off doing podcasts, and I would do them here and there. But if you want people to know about your book, you have to talk about it. So you have to get out into the world. You can't just rely on Amazon. It's marketing everywhere. You have to have that, build your audience, have a marketing foundation, and just keep going and keep building. And speaking and being an author does go hand in hand. So
Now, how did you do your launch for your book?
So honestly, for the first book, I didn't really do a launch. I published it, and then afterwards, I started telling people about it on social media. After it had been out for a little bit, but how I started promoting it more, I did like a joint venture launch. So I would join. I would sign up for different with different joint ventures, so I could start building my email list that way. And then I was telling people on social media about it. And I had something called Book Funnel too, where I gave the book away for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I got some downloads that way. And then I started doing some vendor events too, where I would promote my book and selling my book too. So when you're an author too, you have to get out, like find your local fairs, find your vendor events, and bring your books. You might not sell a whole lot. Maybe you'll bring another thing too. Don't bring a whole case of books, because you're probably not going to sell them all. Just bring a few, like bring maybe 10 books. And then if you sell out, just have a QR code and say, hey, you can go to my website, or you can go to Amazon and get the book here. So I would advise that too. I think a lot of authors go in optimistic, where you should be, and bring up a lot of books, and they end up taking them home. I know that I end up taking them home, but to avoid that, just bring a few. And then if you run out, then just have a QR code, and then people can get it from Amazon or your website. And that gets traffic to your website that way too. So.
Now, how did you start your website?
How I started my website, I actually have two now. So I started the website with Panic to Picnic was after the book. So and then I realized that I was going networking, telling people Terrified Publishing. The name of the business was Terrified Publishing, but the book is Panic to Picnic. So I said I need to get a Terrified Publishing website. So that I think I got that one in about I think it's been a couple years now, but I got Panic to Picnic in like 2020, I think. So I basically built the website Panic to Picnic around the book, and I had a blog that was called Panic to Picnic, and then I had a shop where I put journals, like digital journals, for people to get on there. So it's basically about the book, and put some testimonials on there about people that read the book. So, so Panic to Picnic is where the blog is, and then Terrified Publishing is where people can come and get more resources, more about publishing, and if they want to book a call with me, they can book there. So, um, they're both they're both congruent with each other because it's about um getting through the anxieties that come along with publishing. So both websites are the same. And then Panic to Picnic is more about self care and self love too, where you can get those resources there too.
Now, what are those websites again? So we can make sure that everyone has access to it.
Sure. So one website is panictopicnic.com, and the other one is terrifiedpublishing.com. Do you need me to spell them?
No, no, no. We're gonna
Okay.
link them in the show notes. You're good.
Okay.
Now, the other question, with many people that you're publishing, is there a common thing that you see with many of the authors that need to be worked on, something that they constantly are doing incorrectly?
Yeah, so a common theme that I see is that they do need that the editing of the book. They need suggestions with how to improve readability. Like there's a book that I'm looking at now, and it's a lot of lists in the book, but that's not really readability. So I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna give her suggestions for how to improve the readability. So it's not just lists. Maybe give more of a narrative flow in that part of the book. And there's some authors that I come across too, or aspiring authors that they have the idea in their head, but they don't know where to start. So it's a lot of authors that I come along with too. And originally, I just wanted to take the manuscript from manuscript into editing and all the full process, helping them get their ISBN, helping them get up on their platforms, and then helping them get readers for the book. Originally, I just wanted to do that, but I realized that the more people that I came across, most of them didn't have a manuscript. So I had to pivot a bit and help them get the ideas out of their head and onto paper. So most people have the idea, they don't know where to start, or even some people have the notes and they don't know how to shape their notes. So they need help with that too. So yeah, so those are most of the pain points that I come across with the authors that I work with.
So basically, you became an author coach. You learned more
Hmm.
about form. You're doing cover design. You started doing every facet of it. Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
love it. How did you learn cover?
Well, for the cover design, I do have a business partner that I collaborate with on, and then some of the authors that I work with actually like to do their own covers. So what I do is I'll make suggestions for how to improve their cover. So I like the authors that have the starting point, but it's okay if you don't. But I like the authors that like to have a little bit of creative control, and I just give them a few suggestions, and then we can improve the cover that way. But I I did develop some Canvas skill. Like for my book, with the help of AI, I designed this cover. So, and I
Oh,
think it really captures what Panic to Picnic means. Like there's the colors are relaxing, and then there's the bench on there. So I really like the way I designed this cover. So.
now, are there particular readers that you have in mind that you're looking for, and how did you gear your marketing to target? And I know you said before you had a little bit of difficulty in figuring out your target audience. You went on there and you was like, hey, everybody, I'm out here. Come grab my book. Had to tailor it a little bit. How did you go in that process?
So, honestly, when I first wrote the book, I had people in mind who had anxiety. But what I really wanted in mind were the action takers with anxiety. There's a difference because there were some people on my email list who had anxiety, but they didn't necessarily want to do anything about it. They just needed that shoulder to talk about. And I was that for a few people. But it's like, I think most people can only do something about their anxiety when they're ready. And I say that because I've been there. I've had therapists say, do this, try this. And nothing worked until I said that I wanted to change it myself. So,
Mm-hmm.
they can give you all the tools. I can give all the tools too, but until you have that shift in your own mind, there's not really much that I could do to help. Even those people that were on my email list, I've tried, but I realized that that's not where I could best serve. So, but the people that I had in mind are the action takers against anxiety, not just the people that have it and just want to stay there. So I wanted the people that go from panic to picnic, but I was basically getting panic. So I would say that's a mistake that I did make in the beginning. I just had myself in mind. I said, "Oh, let me get this out there for people who can relate with anxiety." But my intended audience were the action takers with anxiety. So I recommend to, before you write your book, think about who you're writing for, because your book should inspire, entertain, or solve a problem.
Now, basically, we are a book club where we have drinks and food. What drink do you feel embodies your book?
Right. So I would say I saw I would say bold, because it took, like, a bold coffee. So it took
Mm.
courage for me to write my story, because as a shy introvert, I barely even talk to anyone. So now I'm sitting down writing my story. And also, I shared some vulnerabilities
Mhm.
of mine. So I had to share my inner thoughts to people, and something that I wouldn't even tell, like, I wouldn't even share with all my friends or something. So it took courage. So I would say a bold flavored coffee to share your story and share your anxieties, because it's a stigma. Anxiety used to be a stigma, but now more and more people are talking about it. So
It is more mainstream, especially since COVID.
mhm.
And we have a lot of more people who are introverts now and just don't like being in a crowd. That's
Mhm.
what I feel a lot. But I like the bold coffee, a nice dark roast to talk with friends. And then after you get that caffeine going, you get pretty bold and outspoken. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
I want you to give all your social media handles and just let us know how we can become a part of your community and get your blog.
Okay. So my social media, I'm on Instagram and on LinkedIn, but I spend most of my time on LinkedIn. So I'll give you my LinkedIn. So it's Tara, my first name, and my middle name is Martina, and my last name is Hayes. So that's how you can find me on LinkedIn. And also, I use the tagline, a terrified storyteller. So you can find me that way. And my blog is called panic2picnic.com/blog. And my Instagram, it's Tara underscore Martina underscore. But again, I spend most of my time on LinkedIn. So
Well, I love your tagline, and I just wanted to thank you for coming on today and shining some light on what you do.
thank you so much. I thank you for inviting me, Dr. Felicia. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for joining us on AGR Book Talk, where every story is an experience waiting to be shared. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a review. Stay connected with us on social media and let us know what books and experiences are inspiring you. Until next time, keep reading, keep exploring, and keep the conversation going. See you in the next chapter.